Welcome into Texans Today, and I know the question that's on every single person's mind. It's probably the reason why you clicked into the video. Who's starting Thursday Night Football? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about who should start, who will start, and all the overreactions and rumors after the Texans' 16-13 win over the Tennessee Titans. We're on a short week. We barely have any time to talk about this win, talk about the repercussions and everything else before we got to get ready for Thursday Night Football up against the Bills. But let's quickly glaze back over this NFL Week 11 win from your Houston Texans. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't, what we all expected against, maybe not what y'all expected. I told y'all it was a trap game all week long, and the Texans once again proved me right that they are the cardiac Texans, making us sweat out every single game. But at the end of the day, Davis Mills, this offense, was able to drive the ball down the field. Game-winning field goal by Matthew Wright, who is kicking instead for Ka'imi Fairbairn, who is still on the injured list. We'll talk about those injuries coming up in just a moment. But I mentioned Thursday Night Football, short week. Texans up against the Bills. The Texans will be wearing their battle red jerseys. So be there, get loud, and get ready because I'm going to be going live 30 minutes, maybe an hour before kickoff. Maybe we go an hour before for Thursday Night Football up against the Bills. And fun fact, one of my good buddies, Tyler Smith, he runs the Bills channel here at Chat Sports, and he sent me a message this morning, and I'm not going to say he was kind of rubbing it in my face, the metrics from this past month, but yeah, he was. This month, this is the subscribers gained between the Texans channel and the Bills channel. I'm not losing to the Buffalo Bills. Not on the field, not off the field. So I need your help. Go down and hit that subscribe button. I'm not losing to Tyler Smith and the Buffalo Bills. Help me out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's free Texans videos all year long. If you're already subscribed, send it to a friend. Send it to a family member. Any Texans fan you know. Let's make sure we're beating the Buffalo Bills. And if you are brand new to the channel and just subscribed, thank you so much. And this is a little insight into what we're doing today. This is our Toro Heads meter. This is how I kind of gauge rumors, overreactions, everything on the channel. If I give something 0 heads, fake news, it's not happening. If I give something 4 Toro Heads, it's going down. Think of it kind of like a scale going from least likely to most likely with those Toro Heads. So first up, a little overreaction to the Titans win. Davis Mills, is he going to start Thursday Night Football up against the Buffalo Bills? That's 2 Toro Heads. It's obviously, going to be a game time decision, and it's going to be a coin flip whether or not Stroud is even going to be cleared to go from concussion protocol. We'll probably know later on in the week, Tuesday or Wednesday, leading up to this Thursday Night Football game, whether or not Stroud will even be eligible from the NFL to return to action. Adam Schefter had this right before the weekend hit, before the Sunday games. He said, Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud is out for Sunday's game against the Titans. And with Houston having a short week ahead of the Thursday night game up against Buffalo, it remains uncertain whether its starting quarterback will be able to clear concussion protocol in time to play the Bills per source. Now, anybody with the brain could realize, he hasn't cleared concussion protocol yet. They play on a short week, so it's going to be kind of difficult for him to come back on short notice. Maybe the Texans, maybe C.J. Stroud wanted to give him a little extra rest before this Thursday Night Football game. I'm not sure, but I don't think that would be the case, being that he has to clear the concussion protocol from, the independent evaluators. We'll see whether or not he'll be good to go. If he's good to go, though, if C.J. Stroud clears concussion protocol, who should start? Davis Mills? If you think that's the case, give me a 10 down below. If you think it should be C.J. Stroud, give me a 7. I know there's multiple arguments, his health. Also, is he going to be prepared on such a short week? He hasn't practiced in a couple weeks. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who should start on Thursday, Davis Mills or C.J. Stroud? For me, it's clear and obvious. It's C.J. Stroud. If C.J. Stroud is good to go, you put 7 out there on the football field. I know Davis Mills, he has been playing his heart out. He has left everything out in the field, and I 1,000% appreciate Davis Mills as our backup quarterback and a valuable member of this team. He's a great locker room guy. He's somebody who, when C.J. Stroud went down, he kind of steadied the ship. I know he didn't win that Broncos game, but still, the past 2 weeks, he's really showed up big time in clutch moments for this Texans squad. But at the end of the day, C.J. Stroud's the best quarterback you have on this roster. Davis Mills, played a halfway decent game up against this Titans team. They, enough to get the victory, right? You won 16-13, 26-41, 274 yards, a touchdown, a QB rating of 90.14, and 14 rush yards on the day up against the Titans. And, like I said, he played well. He played well enough to win the game. But at the end of the day, putting up 16 points up against the Tennessee Titans, I wouldn't say is like the biggest flex. I wouldn't say is like, the biggest, oh my God, look at me. I'm doing so well. It's really not, right? And CJ Stroud, he is your franchise quarterback. He is the franchise guy. So if he's good to go, you play him. It's CJ Stroud, right? Yeah, you should play CJ Stroud. You should be able to feel confident enough, even on a short week with not a ton of practice. He's still the starting quarterback. He knows the offense. Maybe he doesn't, isn't up to date with, getting some of the rust off and stuff like that. But mentally, I would say CJ Stroud would be ready to go up against the Bills. Whatever they're going to install, whatever they're looking at in that Bills defense, I have faith that CJ Stroud would be able to go. But like I said, it's up to his health. And same with a lot of the guys on this Texans roster, right? It's not just CJ Stroud. These are all the inactives from this past week up against Tennessee. Jalen Pitre still in concussion protocol. He's another guy who we got to look at because in that defense, they're a much different defense with and without Jalen Pitre. Now, they're still a good squad, but Jalen Pitre brings something else, especially against the run. That's where you notice Jalen Pitre the most on this Texans defense is kind of on the boundaries whenever they're defending the run. He's somebody who, great sideline-to-sideline tackler and not afraid to, put his head in there, put his nose in there, and get a great tackle. Fairbairn, who, Matthew Wright, he did hit the game-winning field goal for the Houston Texans, but we remember earlier in the game, the first drive, he clanked one off the crossbar. Now, I'm not trying to, rain down on his parade, but obviously, with a backup kicker, you are maybe second-guessing a couple of those longer kicks up against a team like the Buffalo Bills. Another big one at the very bottom, Ed Ingram. This caused the Texans' O-line shuffle because he was out. They went ahead and moved Tytus Howard into guard, which a lot of y'all wanted, and put Trent Brown at right tackle. Then they put Jarrett Patterson at left guard, Jake Andrews at center, and then obviously the rookie Aireontae Ersery, who's been manning the left tackle spot. And that leads me to this next point. We all wanted it. We got it. Is it, though, what we wanted? Was the grass greener on the other side whenever Trent Brown was starting at right tackle and they moved Tytus Howard into right guard? I'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, a word from our sponsors. Shout out to my friends over at Prize Pick. The hard-hitting football action is just getting going with our friends over at Prize Picks. And the weather, it might be a changing, but the feeling of being right, that never gets old. And you can get started today with our sponsor, Prize Picks, by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5 in lineups. All you got to do is use that code CLNS, and it's super simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Get your picks right. You can cash in big time. They put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And just gonna, get on my soapbox really quick because, maybe I went a little bit more on the Woody Marks rushing yards and, obviously with the Titans having 2 of the best defensive tackles in the league, maybe not a smart move on my part, but I will say, D'Amico Ryans, you challenged the wrong play. I would have gotten my Jaden Higgins touchdown if you just knew how to challenge. Because I watched that play back. I'm almost positive that Jaden Higgins was able to stretch into the end zone on that play where he got to the 1-yard line. He puts it over. You decide not to challenge that play, but you challenge the Christian Kirk catch where he drops it out of bounds, obviously. D'Amico, if you need help with which plays to challenge, which plays to not, I'll give you my phone number. Put me on speed dial because you seem like you need some help with those challenges, and I got you covered. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed, especially because it did affect my Prize Picks lineup. But I'll be definitely putting in a lineup on Thursday night. And if you want to as well, get started today with our sponsor, Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Might surprise a lot of people. I'm only giving it one Toro head that Trent Brown should start at right tackle. Don't get me wrong. He's played decently there. But I think the playbook is out on Trent Brown, and other teams are going to notice this, and they are going to exploit this. Because the one thing I noticed this past week up against the Titans with Trent Brown, he cannot deal with speed rushers. Arden Key ate his lunch this past Sunday. And if Arden Key's doing that to you, I think a lot of teams have better speed rushers than an Arden Key. And he's big. He helps you in the run game. But at the same time, I just don't know if you can start him the rest of the year with how slow he gets off the ball sometimes. He is a mammoth of a human being. But age plus injuries plus his just sheer size has led to teams noticing, hey, if you put a smaller guy on Trent Brown, if you put somebody that gets a very quick get off on the edge, they can get past him and they can collapse the pocket. And it happened multiple times this past week with Davis Mills in the backfield getting sacked where, the edge rushers seem to just kind of meet in the middle. And a lot of that was based on Trent Brown just not being able to stop an Arden Key. So if it was up to me, if Ed Ingram is healthy, I might just go back to this lineup. I know I was a proponent to say Jarrett Patterson at left guard. He disappointed me a little bit this past week, especially, maybe it's tough to evaluate him going up against one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL against Jeffrey Simmons. And Tavondre Sweat is a huge individual who's also an ascending player at the defensive tackle spot. But I say you go back to Juice at left guard. You go to Ed Ingram at right guard. Tytus Howard at right tackle. If you're going to put Jarrett Patterson in, I'd put him in over Jake Andrews, but we all know that's not going to happen because Jake Andrews and Cole Popovich, they are like this. They are two peas in a pod, simpatico. Jake Andrews and Cole Popovich. They're BFFs. They have the bracelets and everything. So that's what I think the Texans should do at their offensive line going into this week. Lastly, do the Texans control their own destiny? Well, funny enough, after this win yesterday and after how the 3 o'clock slate kind of panned out, they're one game away from a playoff spot. They are the 8 seed. They have the tiebreaker right now up against the Kansas City Chiefs. So 100%, they control their own destiny. And they play basically all the teams that are ahead of them right now in that AFC playoff race. They're playing coming up. Like, look at their next 4 weeks. They play the Bills, who currently are ahead of them in the AFC playoff race. They play the Colts, the leader in the division. They play the Chiefs, who they are technically tied right now, but own the tiebreaker against. They'll definitely own that outright tiebreaker if they go ahead and beat the Chiefs in Week 14. And then you play the Arizona Cardinals, who we always talk about, these sports cliches. And my guy Alper, who's pressing the ones and twos, he's going to like this reference. The Cardinals are frisky. The Cardinals are frisky. You don't know what you're going to get. They'll go out and destroy the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, and then they'll kind of throw up a clunker up against the San Francisco 49ers. Like, they are a frisky team, and you don't know which Cardinals team you're going to get. So you might get a good Cardinals team, or you might get a bad Cardinals team in Week 15. Who knows? But either way, you control your own destiny. And the AFC playoff race, as it stands right now, I know it's crazy. A couple of weeks ago, y'all, some people out there wanted me to do mock drafts. But look at it. The Texans are a game behind the Jags. You split the series with that. You play the Chargers later on in the year. You play the Bills right now. You play the Colts twice. Like, you play the teams that are ahead of you. So, dumb comment by me, but you got to win these games. You got to win these games coming up if you want a chance to make the playoffs. And like I said, you control your own destiny. So go ahead, go out there and beat the Buffalo Bills on Thursday and put yourself smack dab right there in the hunt, because we're going to hear this stat so many times in the next coming weeks. You know how many teams have started 0-3 and made the playoffs since the year 2000? One. The 2018 Houston Texans are the only team in this decade, in this century, to have started 0-3 and made the playoffs. Why not again? Because they have the track, they have the ability to do just that this season. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, I know you're an absolute real one. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? We did something right. You're to the end of the video. So if you're to the end of this video and you're a real one, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also spam those H's so I know who my real ones are. And I'll see you down in the comment section as we get ready for Texans Bills Thursday Night Football.